Meantime, there is this. Sarah Palin, now a Fox News contributor, shared an extensive interview with our own Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday this past Sunday. But it is not what Palin or Wallace said that is now getting attention. Instead, it is this moment right here.
Can I get a you betcha out of you?
You betcha.
Governor,
it's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that you've found the way to Fox News Sunday, I hope you'll come back.
Thank you, I will.
Did you catch that? Chris Wallace looking into the camera. Look at extreme close-up right after the Palin interview. What's that you see? Anything? Well, the folks over at another network certainly saw something.
Look at the end of Chris Wallace's interview where he rolls his eyes, embarrassed. There's no doubt he is. Now, he will deny that, but Chris was sending a message to all his friends. Yes, I know she is not a serious thinker.
Really? Well, let's go to the source. Mr. Chris Wallace, anchor of Fox News Sunday. All right, Wallace, true or not true? Confirm or deny? Did you roll the eyes or didn't you?
No, is the quick answer to that. Secondly, let me just say that Joe Scarborough lives out where the trolleys don't run at night. The last time I heard of somebody getting that kind of a secret message, it was Son of Sam hearing from a Labrador retriever that he should go out and shoot people. And I think that Morning Joe definitely needs to switch to decaf.
Okay, but it's not, in Joe Scarborough's defense, it's not just Joe. Others on the internet then picked up on it and started speculating as well. Mr. Wallace, did you or did you not roll your eyes? What was that look into the camera? What was happening with those eyes when they cut back to you on the set?
No, listen, you know, and here's one thing I'm going to disagree with you about, the idea that that's what most people are talking about. In fact, what most people are talking about is, and certainly here in Washington, the political chattering class, is Sarah Palin. I mean, there was a column today by that notoriously conservative columnist David Broder in the Washington Post, and also a column by that other conservative Joe Klein in Time magazine, based on that interview, saying what a formidable political figure Sarah Palin is now, that she really does seem to have captured the populist unrest and anger in the country, that she is going to be a real player if she chooses to run for the Republican nomination in 2012. I think Broder finished his column saying, "This lady is good." I came away from the interview with nothing but admiration for Sarah Palin. And this idea, you know, it's interesting. People talk about Palin derangement syndrome. The fact is, I threw everything at her in that half hour about Obama, about Rush Limbaugh and the R word, about all kinds of things. And there was never a beat, a pause. It was not. I thought she did a first-rate job. The Sarah Palin of the Republican convention in 2008 is back, and the deer in the headlights of later on in the campaign is long gone and forgotten.
Do you think, Chris, are you offended when you hear something like that, when you hear somebody like, you know, Scarborough say, and this is a quote, Chris was sending a message to all of his friends. Yes, I know. She is not a serious thinker.
I'm offended that people watch him on MSNBC.
Wow.
Wow. Well, what about you? You got some good ratings from that Fox News Sunday interview, and you did make some news, Chris, not just by convincing. And by the way, he uses the examples of David Broder and Joe Klein as conservatives facetiously. These are not conservative men. But you got a lot of buzz from that interview. And nonetheless, Chris, the latest polls come out, and now we see that, you know, Sarah Palin didn't get that big of a bounce, I guess. They say 71%, according to the Washington Post, still say she's not qualified to be president. 26% say she is. Does that surprise you?
Well, no, because I think that there's a storyline, there's a narrative that's built up, and, you know, a single interview. I don't even know if this interview was conducted, I'm looking at that before or after, actually was conducted before the interview, and that's not going to have that kind of an impact. All I can tell you is this is the first time I had ever met Sarah Palin. And, you know, I wasn't going to go easy on her. It was a Sunday show. We asked her a bunch of questions on a variety of subjects, and as I say, there wasn't a pause, there wasn't a blink. There wasn't a rolling of the eyes. She knew exactly who she was and what she wanted to say. And I think just speaking as a political observer, when she at the Tea Party conference said, what we need is a commander-in-chief and not a professor of law, that's a very powerful argument. And I think, look, is she ready to be president right now? I don't know, but she's not running for president now. We're talking about 2012. I think she's studying up. She says she's getting briefings every day on foreign policy and national security and domestic policy.
Yeah.
I think she is going to be a serious political player in the next 3 years if she chooses to be one.
And Chris, just for the record, before I let you go, could you give us an actual eye roll just so we can see?
Yeah, well,
what it would
I've been thinking about that because I saw this thing and I thought, well, that isn't even an eye roll. That's a blink or something. No, here's an eye roll. Let me see if I can do it.
That's the one he gives me.
There we go. Thank you very much,
Who is that,
sir.
Shepard Smith?
Yeah, you roll your eyes at me like that every Friday.
Every Friday, hotty toddy.
Everybody.